Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? Hope this video is finding you all doing well and you're enjoying this new year so far. So what is a Westcreek Telios? Well, the question is, can an LP style guitar be a Tele? And I say, if you have an LP style guitar and you have Telecaster pickups and you have humbucker to Telecaster conversion rings, why couldn't it be? But will it sound like a Telecaster? I have no idea, but we are going to find out. So I'm going to take the strings off of this thing. I'm going to tape off the fretboard, and we're going to start by taking the gloss off this neck, because I hate glossy necks. So we're going to do the easy stuff first. Then I'm going to check the frets, make sure they're all nice and level, because if we're going to do a mod, might as well make sure that these are totally playable. It was pretty good when I did the video way back, but I haven't played it since. It's just been hanging on the rack. So we're going to double check that. I could hear some buzzing up here, so I think I had some high frets down here. We'll fix that. And then we're going to pop these pickups out and we're going to do some replacing. And of course, we'll finish with a demo and a sound check. Let's get it done. Step 1, remove the strings. Step 2, we're going to try and save these strings because they're brand new. They've only seen 1 gig, or maybe 2. And a little demo I did for you guys a while back when I first got this thing. We're going to tape off the binding so we can sand the gloss off of this neck. Other side. Okay, so here's what we got. Got the binding all covered up on both sides. And now I'm going to tape off the back of the neck where I don't want to sand. Alright, so here's the sanding area. There we go, it's going to look like that. We're going to go around the heel, square over there, all the way up. Going to go around the volute and square to the nut. Right, so we're going to start with 600. We're going to smoothen that out with 800, and then we're going to finish with some 1500. Dr. J-Man is in the house. Here we go. This was black before. Check that out. So, looks like this. Jason, you ruined it. Relax. We're not done yet. 800. So it looks like now. It's getting duller. 1500. All right, I'll be back when it's done. Just buffing this. Okay, so here's what we have so far. See that? Now, it still looks pretty rough, but we're gonna buff that out. Polishing compound. All right. You would swear that this is not the same guitar. Wow. All right. So here's a final product. Your end satin black neck. Look at that. All right. Time to check the frets. Make sure this is straight. It's rocking back and forth on the ends, which means it's backbowed. Get your 4mm Allen wrench. We need to add relief. It's pretty close. All right, got to check to see if the frets are level. All you have to do is put your fret rocker on the 3 frets and just slide it across, applying pressure. and you'll hear it. Look at this. Hear that? I use a blue marker. Blue is easier to see than black. Sometimes in the light, the black comes off as kind of shiny. So we have a high end on this one. Perfect. No problem there. Just on the end and a little bit at the tip here. These three are perfect. This next one is high. All right. This middle one is high. But I'm typically going to drop these off anyway because of the last 3 frets. So I'm going to mark them all. So we have quite a few high spots. So I'm just going to level the whole board. I'll be using a leveling bar with 400 grit sandpaper. I just took off the 220. And the reason being, these are not stainless steel frets, and they are minor height variances between them. So I don't want to chew them up any more than I need to. I'm just going to take off the slightest amount with the 400 grit, and they'll be easier to refinish and crown and polish. Just finishing up marking all the frets. And that way you can see where your high ones are at after you do your first couple passes. So here we go. If you look at this, everywhere you can still see blue marker means that those are low spots, right? So if you want your fretboard perfectly level, all those blue spots have to be gone. See how we're getting along. So we have one high fret right here, number 19. I taped off the 11th and 12th fret, and I want to do another pass on these last 10 frets and get them down a little bit lower than the previous frets so that I have no string buzz as I go up the neck. The only issue is I taped off all these pickups earlier, but now I realize I got to take them out because this back pickup, even if I lower it all the way, it's in the way of my bar. I'm just going to pop those out right now, and then I'll come back. Okay, so these have a volume and a volume. So volume for the neck pickup, volume for the bridge pickup, and then a master tone. So I'm not sure how I'm going to wire this because I want this to be like a Tele, and Teles just have like a volume and a tone. A lot of times on my Teles, I don't even use the tone. It's up all the time. So when I build a Tele or I mod stuff, I usually just bypass the tone altogether. So, but I'll probably leave everything in place so that it'd be easy to rewire like stock form if ever I wanted to convert it back or put a different set of humbuckers back in it or whatever. That's the fun part about modding guitars, is you can do whatever the heck you want. I'm just taking out the last screw. Really nice cavities in this. Wow, holy smokes. Super nice. Got to check quickly to see if these cavities are shielded. And it would appear that they are not. Oh, I'm a little disappointed actually. I'm guessing these are 500K pots. So for a Tele, that might be a little bit too bright. But this guitar was dark Anyway, so I don't know, it might be okay. It's easy to just put some new pots in there if these don't work out. So I think I'll just reuse everything and leave it as is, because the guitar worked great, you know, stock. So I'll just change the pickups, wire them to these pots, and that's it, that's all. These are stamped B for bridge and N for neck. And they got some nice weight to them. These are nice pickups, if you like humbuckers. So they're wax potted because look, you can see where the wax, when they hung about to drip, you can see the residue of the wax here. See that? With everything out of the way, we got all kinds of clearance, right? I got like almost a finger and a half of clearance here. So now I can proceed with leveling down these last 10 frets. So the marker is coming off on all of these, except this fret right here. So there's a low spot here, which means that all of these frets are higher, and this is on the high E string, and you could potentially get a buzz here if I press down on this fret. This last fret could potentially fret this one out. So I'm going to take down this very last fret. All right. Can you see how those are all flat now at the top? They're all squared off, right? See that? Okay, well, we have to fix that. So now I just colored them all in, marked them up with blue marker, and I'm going to take this Stumac Center Z diamond file. We're going to crown all those frets. So I just crowned 2 frets. So look at this. You see how the whole fret is blue? Now look at the first 2 here. See that? So that fret is perfectly crowned. Okay. So they're all crowned. And now we have to get the tooling marks out of there. All right, so we just put that on like this and hit every fret. All right, so check out these frets, and they haven't even been polished yet. Try to give you a side-on view of the crown. You can get it to focus. Oh, look at that. Look at those rounded frets. This whole process takes about 75 minutes. That's not too bad. All right, polishing is done. Look at that shine. But look at the mess. So I understand why some people don't use steel wool, right? They use like some kind of a polishing compound with a Dremel wheel. You know, it makes a splatter, but it wouldn't make a residue of filings like that. Okay, I'm just in the process of shielding these cavities. And so I got the shielding tape on the bottom. And then you'll notice this little ridge here, right? So I have a little stripped piece of wire laying on top of the shielding tape with another piece of shielding tape over top of it, right? To kind of create a connection. And that little wire runs all the way through to this cavity, and you'll see it here coming out. And it also has, you know, a little piece of shielding tape over top of it, connecting it to the shielding tape in this cavity. And then I'll run one from here all through to the control cavity. All right, just installing the neck Telecaster pup. I'll show you that in a sec. So these adapter rings are direct fit to the humbucker trim rings. Exactly. All right, so everything is wired up and ready to go. I'm just waiting for this bridge pickup ring to dry. Yeah, that's right, I said dry. At Guitar Finish, they didn't have any black ones for the bridge pickups. They were out of stock, so I ordered 2 of the white ones, and I ordered 2 of the black ones for the neck. One of the white ones, I spray painted it black. I'm just waiting for it to dry. It's just a temporary one. And the other one, I took to a friend of mine who has a CNC machine, and I brought him a section of black pickguard, and he's gonna cut me out like 6 rings out of that one piece of pickguard. So then, you know, I'll just swap out the ring on this one, because I don't think the paint's gonna look really good, but I just want to get it set up to see if it's gonna work. The other thing I'm not sure of is the original pickup rings. See, they're thicker at one end than the other. Line up the pickup for, you know, string angle, so to speak, right? So whereas these mounting rings are just going to have the pickups flat to the guitar, like a typical Tele would. So I may have to mount the ring on top of this original humbucker ring, which might look a little weird, but it would angle the pickup correctly. But then I may not have enough room, like it might be too tall to get the action where I want it. So I don't know, we're just gonna see how much pickup height I can get and see how it works. And because they're not a humbucker, it may not matter that the pickup is not, you know, angled to the string, like so long as the magnets are, you know, reasonably close. Whereas a humbucker, you know, if your pickup wasn't slanted, you'd have one set of magnets closer to the string than the other, and that could maybe affect your overall tone. I don't know. Okay, so there you have it. That turned out all right. No modifications to this cavity whatsoever. This Tele pickup just fits right in there perfectly, and there's lots of room for adjustment. No issues whatsoever. Got to put some strings on this thing and see what it sounds like. Okay, so the Westcreek Telios is done. So there you go, a couple of Tele pickups. So they worked great, but you'll see how high the bridge pickup is, right? I had to get it up fairly high to get nice and close to the strings there. And the neck one, not so much. But so that worked out well, because with the Tele you can tilt these pickups with this screw right here, right? You can make it go down a bit. So I was able to line it up pretty good to the strings. So it should be fine. I could plug it in and just riff out some tunes to see what the tone's like. But really, we have nothing to go by. So these are M-Musi pickups out of my black M-Musi Tele that I did the video series on when I blacked it out. And they are identical to these pickups that are in my M-Musi yellow. So we're going to compare the two. I'm going to do a little bit of, you know, tone sampling with this Tele pickup to get us a bass, and then I'll put this one in and see how close it is. All right, let's do this. go, guys. There's the Westcreek Telios. I don't know about you, but here in the room, it sounded pretty darn close, considering these are two totally different designed and different built guitars. So yeah, you can make a Tele out of an LP guitar. All you need are those trim rings and a set of Tele pickups. And rock and roll. So whether it's clean, a little bit of drive, or some heavy gain. As far as noise goes, with single coils, with that shielding I did, there is none. The amp is right there, right behind the tablet. So there's no noise. Overdrive, you can hear like a hiss. And then if I stack the drive with, like I have a Clarksdale on, now if I put the Tumnus on, now you can hear like a hum. But again, that's not a 60 cycle hum, that's just a tube amp thing. I'm using my little Fender Pro Junior. Westcreek Telios. Thanks for watching. You guys take care. God bless.